I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Home of the Lions and Tigers.
You almost said Bears.
Right, I almost said fuck them Bears. But yeah, from the Lions and Tigers, man. And I was born on Schoolcraft. That's a strip in Detroit, Schoolcraft. It's between Grand River and Finkel, you might as well say. And we migrated to Puritan later on down in the years, and that's where I learned how to. That's how I learned how to make money on Puritan.
Is that a particular side of town?
Yeah, that's on the west side of town, west side of Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, still living in Detroit?
No, I don't live in Detroit no more.
Oh, you don't?
No, I stay in Nashville now. I stay in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what age were you when you moved?
I just moved the beginning of this year. Yep, yeah. I just moved the beginning of this year. Come down and really start, investing in doing this music 100%. Like investing my time, going down, fuck with different publishing companies, get the business in together, different music conventions, and just down here networking. It's closer to Atlanta, so I can come down here and mingle, mess around with a couple of my folks, Summer Hill, and shit. The rest is history.
So the move was more of a music move, a career move?
Yeah, it was basically a career move for sure. Career move and a safety move. Detroit, and I got a son, so it'd be kind of hard to be, just outside playing with your kids and shit. So just had to move the whole family and really just focus on us.
2 questions. Aside from that, though, the safety part, Detroit is bubbling with hip-hop and rap talent right now. So why not stay there if you are a Detroit rapper while it's hot and bubbling right now? I understand the safety part, but why not stay in the suburbs of Detroit? Why not stay maybe in 20 or 30 minutes from Detroit, but still be considered in the Detroit area? Why move all the way to another state?
This Detroit, suburbs don't matter. If niggas see something that you got, you know what I'm saying, they coming to get it. I don't care if you in the burbs, you hour away, 3 hours away from, they coming. They gonna be there. Ain't no shaking that. Somebody's gonna try to follow you to the crib. And I just got the fuck on. 9 hours, ain't nobody following me 9 hours to the crib. That shit over with.
But let me ask you this. I find it interesting that you choose Nashville because I would think if you're doing, my estimate or my guess, if you're doing country music, I'm sure Nashville is probably a fantastic choice. But for rap and hip hop, if you're so close to Atlanta from Nashville, why not just move to Atlanta, since Atlanta is considered at this point to be the New York City of the South.
For sure.
It's Little Hollywood, they consider it. I mean, even movie companies are shooting a lot of movies and films in Atlanta from LA, where they used to do a lot of stuff, So why not just come to Atlanta if that's a huge music hub in its own self?
Well, Atlanta is only like 3 hours away from me, so I still consider like being close to Atlanta. And Atlanta is kind of like, oversaturated too with just con artists. Just different people be trying to do different things for the music. And they try to use certain tools to, get a little extra up out of you. Like they want money for this, money for that, money for this. Well, really ain't even gotta be like that now. Back in Nashville, the rap scene is kind of wide open. You got a couple artists out there that's making some noise, but it's not too many. I can make something shake there. You know what I'm saying?
How has the rap scene over there reacted to you moving there? Have they taken you in with open arms, or are they finding you out to be competition for them?
It's always gonna be competition, but for the most part, it's embracing. I go down and just mingle. For the most part right now, I'm just mingling down there, touching bases, hitting different scenes, clubs, getting to know DJs, trying to really snatch that whole scene into my hands, because especially with the music that I make, you know, it's melodic, but it's trap, you know what I'm saying? It's hard, so a lot of people down south can relate to my music, you know what I'm saying?
Growing up in Detroit, what was that like for you? Can you paint the picture for us?
Well, I know a lot of, you know, growing up in Detroit for me was humbling. I learned a lot. I was happy all through my kid. I ain't even know nothing about no struggle. Even if we was struggling, I was a kid, so I ain't know nothing about. I know a lot of people get on here and say, "Oh, they do that, dog." Nah. I ain't know nothing about nothing. You know what I'm saying? We was kids. We weren't worried about bills. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't know no better.
Yeah, I ain't know no better. So I was happy through Detroit. Coming up in the years, I ain't. Man, you know, you might have seen somebody like. Okay, when I was 6 years old, I was walking home from school and I seen one of the big homies in the neighborhood. I seen them shot on the porch. But I'm a kid, so I'm not thinking, you know, it's too much wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he like, oh, go tell your people I'm around here, give me help. So I run around the corner. I'm happy. Dude need help around the corner. And I went on about my business. I wasn't thinking about, you know. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard coming up to like the teens part. You know what I'm saying? Then when you start realizing how everything getting done, ain't no Santa Claus and all that shit get hectic. You feel me? Now it's time to start working and trying to make some cheese around that motherfucker.
Would you consider your upbringing to be rough? I mean, now that you know the difference between what's rough, what's not rough, what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's poverty, what's rich and middle class. Since you know all this now.
Hell yeah, Smallz. Since I done grew, you know, got grown and I can reflect back on what's going on. Hell yeah, it was hard as fuck. Cause I remember some days waking up, ain't shit going on in the crib. You feel me? Ain't shit moving. You can hear motherfucking mice running through that motherfucker. No lights, no water, you know, but I know the whole world and, you know, has experienced that shit, so I ain't here to, you know, just to be talking about that, but for the most part, my mom's, she held it down. She made sure we was straight. Even if we didn't have no hot water or some shit, she boiled it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I again said, I never knew, I ain't even know nothing about no struggle. But when I reflect back and look, like, damn, some of the shit I done seen growing up, you know, just being in the crib, you know how you be, you know, lurking through the crib early as hell, 4, 5 in the morning, you see shit, you like, damn, what the fuck? You like, oh my God. Motherfuckers cooking up in the kitchen, motherfuckers smoking crack, all types of shit just going on, so you know you in a hard place, but you just don't know how hard it is, you know? Shit wild.
Now, out of that rough upbringing that you described, what was your roughest moment growing back, looking back at yourself?
Roughest part.
Yeah, roughest moment growing up.
I mean, roughest moment growing up for me.
Yeah. What sticks out the most?
Was leaving my mom's. That was the roughest part for me. I left my mom's at like the age of 11. My auntie had passed in the house. We had this big, beautiful house on 6 Mile, Illinois. My mom's sister, her older sister, passed in the house. She was, you know, wheelchair. She was, you know, sick. She had got shot on Finkel at this club and was put in a wheelchair. So, you know, blood clogs and all that shit over the years passed. She had an aneurysm and passed in the house. Now, I found her dead in the house. So I go tell my moms and them, you know, and that's her sister. So it kind of, you know, fucked her head up, I believe. We still ain't never talked about this, but I know it kind of probably fucked her head up, you know, her sister passing in the house. So she just up and boom, that day, she just up and took us to a shelter. Now, previously, before then, we had went to a shelter before, you know what I'm saying? So But it was only for a short period of time, like a week. Then we moved to this, after that she got her shit together. We moved right to this big ass house within a week. Boom. Big ass nice house. And she moved us to that shelter again, bro. But you know, that first time I was like, man, I ain't never going back to that type shit. That shit was wild. It was like boot camp, you know what I'm saying? Inside of it's really like a boot camp, like penitentiary and everything. They wake you up when they want to. They feed you what they want to feed you. You gotta be in at a certain time, just all this, man, bullshit. So when my auntie passed and she upped and moved us to the shelter again, you know, I'm 11 now. I'm already thinking on my own. I'm already, because of the situation we in, I'm already hustling, but I ain't, you know, per se hustling like working or like that. I'm hustling, pumping gas, grocery store carrying bags, you know, doing what you got to do to make some cheese. Because this shit I still wanted too at the age of 9, 10, and 11. This shit I want that OG can't provide, so shit, I know how to get that shit. Hit the gas station, pump some gas, grocery store, carry some bags. So long story short, this time I just couldn't took it. Me and my mom got into a real, you know, bad argument. And I told her, like, shit, I'm out. This is at the age of 11, man. I told her I'm out. And we downtown Detroit, so I don't, you know, any motherfucker from Detroit, man, when they go downtown, I guarantee they just don't know where everything at. You know what I'm saying? In the daytime, shit look totally different because we so used to going down there in the nighttime. So in the daytime, I dip up out the motherfucking, I run up out the motherfucking shelter. I'm walking up Woodward. No money, no nothing. But I know, I remember hopping on this bus though. Hopping on the bus and they ride me past my uncle's crib. So I'm like, damn, I gotta get on this bus. You know what I'm saying? So I done fucked around and asked the police officer. Now she was like a cross guard or something. She wasn't no hook. I asked her for a quarter so I can use the phone to call my old dude because I knew my old dude number by heart. She gave me $1. She like, shit, I ain't got no change, but take this $1. Ask that man, do he got some change? If he ain't got no change, then keep it. Boom. Man, I kept the $1. I walked off, called my old dude on the phone, told him the situation. Then I went and hopped on the bus with the 75 cents because it was like 75 cents or like $1, you know, like 75 cents to hop on the bus at the time or some shit. And man, just leaving my mom's, bro.
Where did you go?
I went to stay with my uncle and them for a couple years. I went to stay with my uncle and them for like, I want to say like 7 years after that, like 5, 6 years after that. I ain't never go back stay with my mom's after that. To this day, I ain't never stayed back with my mom.
Did you keep in touch with her and have a good rapport with her, or was it rocky?
For a couple years, it was rough. We ain't communicate. You know what I'm saying? I ain't call her, she ain't call me. I'm her child, so I bet she just like me. You know what I'm saying? Stubborn as hell, pride, you know. So we just ain't communicate. My little brother had got married, and when I was at the wedding, I kicked it with my OG and, you know, just told her how I feel and, you know, just told her what was going on with me and you know, told her how I felt about her. And once we got all that shit off our chest, shit was back, you know, popping. I started, you know, communicating, going to see my mama every day. And then I felt like the shit I was going through, I wasn't gonna be able to get all that shit up off me unless I had built that relationship back with my mom's. You know what I'm saying? Because they say honor thy mother, thy father, and I wasn't playing that part, so I was going through a lot of shit.
I mean, but, okay, so you run off with your uncle and all them, but was your mom trying to fight for you to come back, or did she kind of just, I'm going to let him do it?
I mean, like I said, I wasn't no easy person to deal with, you know what I'm saying? I'm her oldest child. She had me when she was 19, so she was kind of like a kid still herself, you know what I'm saying? So we kind of like raised each other, you know? So I want the easiest person to deal with. I used to be getting in trouble a lot, you know, picking on my little brothers and shit. You know, I thought I was making them tougher, but in her eyes, she seen them like I was picking on them and shit. Used to be getting kicked out of school, You know, I done ran away from the crib once before, 8 years old, and then walked out the crib, and cause shit, she was about to whoop me. I'm like, fuck that, I don't want to whoop her, mama, I'll leave. She said, go ahead and walk your ass out the door. You think you grown? Go ahead and walk out the door. I walked out that motherfucker. She called the police, sent the police looking for me and shit, but I just walked down, you know, to my old dude, cause he stayed up the road. But shit, I want the easiest person to deal with my OG, so it was kind of like probably like you know, it was a lot of shit off her plate then once I left. Cause shit, like I said, I want the easiest person to deal with. And then I told my little brothers, and then once I left, I'm like, shit, I'm coming back to get y'all. So once I left, wired up, you know what I'm saying, my people on my daddy's side, what was going on with us, shit, they came with me too. So she had time to, you know, to get her shit together and progress too. It's now she doing just hella good, you know what I'm saying? She's straight now.
And you guys are back on good terms.
Hell yeah, that's my baby. I love my mama. That's my baby. Boy.
Growing up, what type of student were you in school?
Man, I was terrible. I was terrible, man. I was always into shit. Always and all types of shit. I'm talking about like bringing weed to school, trying to suck on titties and shit in school, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that, fingering girls in school. I was terrible, man, but I was athletic though, so I used to get a pass for a lot of all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I was terrible. Sometimes I don't even see how I graduated from high school. I ain't do nothing the whole time. I ain't do shit.
Did you get caught doing these activities you just described?
Hell no. I ain't gonna get caught for that shit, cause that shit kind of, you know, motherfucker could have probably caught a case or something for that shit back in school. You feel me? No, I ain't never get caught, and it was consent. They wanted me to do that shit. So if y'all looking, y'all know y'all wanted me to do that shit.
Now, sounds like you had some street activity going on, or you were involved with street activity at one point.
Yeah, man. I'm still active, but I mean, it is what it is. You gotta feed your family, man, and that job. You know, I tried the job shit. It just wasn't working for me, bro. It just wasn't working.
When it comes to dealing with the streets and looking back, dealing with the streets for yourself, obviously the streets can be a very risky path. There's consequences that can come from that. There's violence that can come from that. There's some sort of incarceration, be it jail or prison, that can come from that. And there's also possibly death. Why go that route or that path knowing these types of things?
Man, risk taker, man. Taking chances. Just make sure I get my family ahead, you know what I'm saying? And then it is what it is, Smallz on that end. I seen it a lot young, and I wanted it. So.
But every kid wants it.
Yeah, man, but every kid ain't got the opportunity to get it that way. You know what I'm saying? So I sat in spots when I was 9 and actually seen how a spot was ran at the age of 9. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there watching motherfuckers scaling, bagging, serving, you know?
The trap.
Yeah, what we call it the spot.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Does it mean the same thing?
It's the same thing, but
just different terminology.
Yeah. It's spot spaghettis at the crib. We call them spot. But yeah, man. So it was already embedded. It was already embedded in my mind what I was gonna do. I tried the basketball thing. That ain't work. But all the time while I'm you know trying the hoop dreams, I'm already paving the way for street dreams, you know what I'm saying? So I'm hanging around the guys, the movers and the shakers in the neighborhood. One of my closest friends, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names, but you know, he was real active, you know what I'm saying? And he was making a lot of cheese while I was young, and he was actually letting me see that, you know what I'm saying? actually taking me to them stores. We young, and he showing me what to buy, clothes, and how to dress, and I'm sitting here asking my old dude for money to go buy this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was just an opportunity right there. They like, man, you know. So I started. Hell yeah! I'm like, come on, let me get it. Let me get in. I got right in, and I know a lot of my family and shit. They probably ain't know what I was doing back then, but shit, I had to, cause my pride, man. I ain't like asking nobody for nothing. Still to this day, I don't ask nobody for shit.
Any regrets choosing that path?
Hell yeah. Only thing I regret choosing that path is time. Not having enough time. That's it. Cause I'm so caught up in chasing these streets that I forget about what I got at home. You know what I'm saying? Like my son, my lady. So it just, I regret not having enough time.
Is it worth it? Is the risk worth the reward, or what you gotten out of it, or get out of it, however way you want to say it?
I mean, shit, we'll never know. That's a question I wouldn't never answer. Is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Because if you wake up, and when I wake up and I look at my son and he's smiling talking about daddy, then yeah, hell yeah, it was worth it, you know? Because like I said, the job shit wasn't working for me. I quit my job. I had a job. This why I say I was working with my uncle at a deli in Detroit called Esquire's. It's a popular deli off Dexter where all, you know, back in the day, it's legendary for having, you know, Butch Jones, you know, the original YBIs and you know, all these big dope men that come here and eat. You know what I'm saying? They get together and feast in this motherfucker. So I started working there with my uncle when I was in high school. And you know, this is my favorite uncle. So me working for him, it kind of like, it was damaging our relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I just couldn't let that, because I was starting to not like him, and you know what I'm saying, just shit like that. We arguing at work because I'm his nephew, and you know, he can just get on me.
So there's family involved. It could be a conflict of interest. Why not try a different job where there's no family involved? Maybe it would be a different outcome.
Well, I should have probably tried a different job before I worked with my uncle, because after that, it was a wrap. I'm like, I quit my job, I went to the streets. And it wasn't peaches and cream. I quit my job, I went to the streets, man. I thought, you know, everything was gonna be everything, and I was gonna progress because I was in the streets. You know, I'm around all these, and everybody know me, they love me. So I'm thinking I'm gonna progress in the streets. But I took a hard fall, you know what I'm saying? After I quit my job, I took a hard ass fall. Like, I was out here homeless damn near, you know? I could have went somewhere and, you know, rest my head, but my pride wouldn't let me tell my peers and my family that I was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? See, sometimes motherfuckers don't like to admit that they was fucked up. And at that point in time, I didn't admit that I was fucked up, because I'm still chasing this dream, you know? So I took a hard fall, man. I was sleeping in cars, shit, walking around the neighborhood till the sun came up. Shit.
How long did that homeless period last for?
It lasted for, I'm gonna say, like, you know, about 2-3 month period. You know what I'm saying? By the time the winter came, my cousin Lanny, my cousin Lanny, real nigga, man. He opened his doors, you know what I'm saying? Because he was like, "Nigga, you can't be out here like that. You bullshitting." So I'm like, shit, man. Good looking, because once he gave me that, somewhere I was stable, I can put my head back, I can put my money up and, you know what I'm saying, save. I ain't had nowhere to put my cheese up. I'm running around, then I'm out here, damn, like I said, homeless for real, and I'm still chasing hoes, fucking, all that type of shit, spending money, getting drunk, where I'm supposed to be changing my life, but I'm still not letting everybody know that what I'm going through, so they thinking everything normal. They still want me around, we partying, and yeah, bro, till I got with my cousin, man, and was able to, you know, really be stable, then shit started changing. Shit started swinging.
There's different levels of homelessness. Some are worse than others. Probably the best level of homeless, if you want to say there's a best level, is like just moving around couch to couch, house to house, that sort of thing. But then it can get a little worse than that. You could be living out of motels, hotels, you know, in and out of those type of establishments. Then it can get even worse than that, where you're not even living in a building, you're living out of your car. And then it can get worse than that, where, you know, a shelter may be involved, which you had mentioned before, but obviously the bottom of the bottom is being on the actual street.
Yeah, man, I was out there.
Sleeping, trying to figure that out.
I was sleeping in, my mans them had a stolen car that was on the block, so I used to sleep in that motherfucker. Till, like I said, man, I woke up one day, man, it was cold as hell. My motherfucking legs was frozen, man. It was just little ass, thin ass blanket in there, man. That shit was just, man, a wrap, man. I couldn't do that shit no more, bro. And I promise and I swear to God, I put that up, man. I put a pat on that, man, that I'll never go that level again, you know? Or let nobody that I fuck, you know what I'm saying, be around see that shit.
Somebody watching this, let's say they're maybe homeless themselves right now. Maybe they just became homeless or they're on the verge of becoming homeless. Circumstances could be different for everybody, but any advice there you would share, generally speaking?
Don't be afraid, man, to tell your people what you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could be out there, you know, that really, you know what I'm saying, love you, that's willing to help you. And that's what really, you know what I'm saying, held me back. I didn't never tell nobody what I was going through.
A lot of pride.
Yeah, a lot of pride, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, man, closed mouths don't get fed, for real. And I just ain't, you know, don't be afraid to tell your people what you're going through, man. And it ain't nothing wrong with being fucked up, you know what I'm saying?
Give me a little more advice, too. We mentioned earlier you were 1 foot in the streets at one point and 1 foot in school. Let's say there's a kid watching this right now, and they're thinking about stepping one of their feet in the streets, maybe around the age you were, or maybe they're already 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Circumstances could be different for everybody, once again, but generally speaking, what's the advice? What would you tell a kid right now watching this, maybe going through that similar situation? 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or about to be?
I'll tell that kid, man, that, you know, if you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you should talk to somebody, man. Let them know what you're going through. I'm gonna tell you again, man, talk to somebody. You gotta let them know what I'm not about to tell you, don't do the shit, cause I don't know what situation you in. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't about to be on here and be you know, hypocritical and shit, but I don't know what situation y'all in, but tell somebody, man. Don't hold that shit in, man, cause shit dangerous out here. You know, nigga you ride with in the back seat, man, the nigga you ride with in the back seat can be the nigga that kill you, and that's what I say that's why I tell all my people, the most fearing thing about a human being is that I cannot read your mind. I don't know what you're thinking. You can say things out your mouth, but be thinking other things, and that shit is dangerous. So talk to your people and let them know what you got going on. At least let somebody know, man. Try your best to, you know, get up out that shit, bro. But I can't tell you not to get in these streets, bro, because I don't know who you sitting next to right now and what you going through, and that might be your only way out sometime.
Did you rap while you were in school?
No, I ain't rap while I was in school.
So that came after high school at some point?
Yeah, it came out right after high school. I mean, I tried to, you know, freestyle and, you know, play around here and there. It's an old video me and my cousins got, you know, with the VHS shit that we was rapping and shit. We was kids, but no, I never really, no, not in school, man. I was too busy trying to get it, man, at school. See, the school I was going to, you couldn't come to school fucked up. McKenzie was a rough school.
When you say effed up, you mean like dressing wise?
Yeah, dressing wise, you know.
Well,
hygiene wise, you feel me?
What do you think about this then? Obviously, there's controversy when it comes to school uniforms. Some people think, you know, because of what you just kind of alluded to, is when people dress what they want, how they want to dress, you know, there can obviously be levels of money issues amongst the different students.
Yeah.
And people can be bullied, people can be teased for that sort of thing. So some people say, if everybody's wearing the same thing, if we have school uniforms, then everybody's on the same level. Maybe this will decrease. There's some people that feel the opposite. What do you feel about something like that? And going through what you went through, do you think school uniforms today would be a good idea in public schools, or no?
I mean, now that you put it that way, that kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, for everybody to wear the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's still gonna be different levels, motherfuckers gonna peep that shit. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no hiding shit from these kids nowadays. They gonna peep what you got going on. But at least wearing the same shit, everybody, that should kind of, you know, dim it down. Everybody shouldn't be getting judged. You know what I'm saying? Off what they wearing and shit. That's a good idea.
One would make the argument though that somebody less fortunate may not have as many school uniforms, therefore their uniforms might not be as crispy, might look a little dingy than somebody else. You also did mention hygiene before. So if somebody is less fortunate, they might have the same thing as everybody else, but their hygiene might be different and their clothes may be a little bit more washed than somebody else's or more dingier than somebody else's and maybe not as crispy as somebody else's.
Well, you know, nowadays, though, that shit don't even matter no more. I mean, niggas buying shit that's ripped up already. You feel me? So.
But we're talking about uniforms.
Yeah, uniforms. I mean,
uniforms aren't going to be ripped up.
Once if you keep your shit ironed and clean, man, you know, the age of, man, the weird people are the cool motherfuckers now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shit is, I don't know, it's just, everything's just flipping. You know what I'm saying? So, that age of you know, point a finger or, you know, what you wearing, like, that shit about over with. Man, you can wear what you want to wear. Motherfuckers got on checkerboard shirts with yellow pants, red shoes, and that shit fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit over with nowadays, bro. You know, to a certain, you know, like I said, genre of people, or, you know, you might have.
But let's not forget, though, fashion is temporary. So, like you said, that checkerboard print with the offset matching things, I mean, maybe that's cool now, but that might only last but so long of coolness.
Yeah.
That could change 10 years from now.
Man, them boys that made it, I don't know. They didn't stuck.
Fashion changes.
But they didn't put some shit on the floor. These weird motherfuckers got some shit on the floor, you hear me? And they taking shit over. Man, they getting deals from, motherfuckers getting deals from everybody to wear, you know what I'm saying, the weirdest shit. All types of foreign clothing lines and shoe companies, man, giving money away for shit crazy, man. That's what I need in. That's why I'm saying I need in. They going, this is wild.
So school uniforms, yes, no? How do you feel?
Yes, on the school uniforms. I believe, yeah, everybody in the school should wear the same thing, man.
Some might also, just another argument point, some might say, you know, once you're in the real world, people get judged, and not everybody's wearing school uniforms in the real world, so.
Well, see, you gotta.
Does it matter? Maybe
you gotta
get
tamper
used to
with the train of thought, though. See, if you starting the process here in school where they not judging, it's sort of like the way, like, okay, my son, the school he go to now, it's a, you know, mixed variety of kids, and he, you know, he don't even really know that, oh, this person white or this person Mexican. He don't even know what's going on, you know. So you gotta change. You gotta start with the train of thought, and if you start with the kids when they grow up, then, you know, maybe the world will start changing. And, you know, people be looking different, but you still gonna have your assholes. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about the assholes. It just, I mean, come on, look our president. So You just can't, you know what I'm saying?
Talking about Trump?
For sure. He was a real asshole, but he fucking president, so fuck it. Oh, shit. I agree with some of the shit he say. I disagree with some of the shit he say. That's a whole different, I don't want to get into the politics shit.
But you did graduate high school.
Yeah, I graduated high school. Hell yeah, flying colors around this motherfucker. I guess, shit, I ain't do nothing, man. But thanks for the teacher, though. I had a good-ass relationship with all my teachers, man. I used to, bring them lunch and shit and like look out for the security guard at the front door. And, man, shit was gravy. When I graduated, yeah, it was gravy. Man, especially, because I was getting kicked out of so many high schools, so I had to go to a adult ed, alternative high school, and that's where I graduated from, alternative high school, and that shit was peaches and cream.
What were you getting expelled for?
Well, sometimes it would be fighting, but most of the time it would just be like for not coming. You know what I'm saying?
Absence.
Like, yeah, absence. They just kick, like, you're not even participating. You're not even coming to school, so. I didn't even like high school till like the 11th grade. That's when I started getting really involved in school. Like, damn, I like this. I like coming to school. But by that time, by 11th grade, I got money flowing. So, shit, I want to go to school now because I want to show my new shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, Jay's dropping to it. We pulling up, line in front of the Foot Locker. We walking right in. We ain't got to wait no line. Shit was lit.
Fighting, you were the aggressor or you were defending yourself in these fights?
No, I used to be starting shit. I was the aggressor. I was starting shit. I'm short as fuck, so I got the little man complex. That shit ain't flying with me. Try some bullshit in his own.
How many schools were you kicked out of?
I would say about 4 of them. 4 high schools I got kicked out of.
So hot, you're gonna run out of high schools.
Fuck yeah. I got kicked out of Central. I got kicked out of McKenzie. I got kicked out of Crossman. I was enrolling into Cooley, got into a fight right there in the motherfucking, in the hallway. So they didn't even accept me. Yeah, I was, but most of the time the fights was basically about neighborhoods, girls, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody just jacking off at their mouth, and you know what I'm saying? You gotta pop them in their shit, and shit like that.